we appreciate you being here. And, imagine that you go to pay your property taxes. You go and you're ready to pay the county property taxes, and they tell you, we can't take that because you don't own your home anymore. Imagine. That's what happened on one of these properties that we're talking about today. That this person went in to pay his property taxes on Pinecrest Drive in the city of Dayton and was told he doesn't own the property. And that's what launched an investigation into the matter. Through that investigation, it was learned that a quitclaim deed had been filed on that property, transferring that property to another, showing that the victim had sold the property for $8,000. Interesting, because the Zillow value of that residence is over $133,000. The purported owner, transferor, purported seller, and the signatures were based on the deed transfer, and that it was on the actual deed itself. The signatures were forged and fraudulently notarized. The property was transferred to the defendant's LLC. The name of that is Love Has Homes. Later, an unsuspecting buyer bought the property from Love Has Homes, what a misnomer I might add, for $35,000, and with the taxes and other expenses, that buyer has now over $40,000 into that home. Another transaction, a person was contacted by these same defendants who offered to sell an unoccupied property on Laurel Drive located in Centerville, Ohio. So you can see this branches out all over the county. In Centerville, Ohio, he offered to sell the property for $200,000. That property was valued at $312,000. Again, the property was being offered for sale by Love Has Homes, LLC, who had obtained this property through the use of a fraudulent quitclaim deed forged and notarized by the defendants. We're not finished. A third property on Corsica Drive in Huber Heights, again throughout the county, was obtained by the same LLC, Love Has Homes. It was being offered for sale for $85,000. The value of that property was $135,000. Again, a fake, forged, fraudulent quitclaim deed had been filed on that Huber Heights property. Interesting here, the purported seller, the person who supposedly signed the deed, and we know now, of course, it was a forgery, but the purported seller had been deceased for almost a year. So you can see what these thieves do to take advantage of unsuspecting people. The purported seller, who supposedly, again, had signed this document in front of this notary, was deceased. All three of these property thefts and forged document cases were committed by defendants Diamond Deshawn Washington and Rosalind Monique Johnson, the owners and operators of an LLC called Love Has Homes. Again, what a misnomer. The only thing these people had love for was themselves and the greed. Today, both defendants, as well as their LLC, has been indicted on 13 felony counts. 1 count of engaging in a pattern of corrupt activity, 6 counts forgery, 3 counts tampering with government records, 1 count of grand theft, and 2 counts of telecommunications fraud. Now, we've talked for some time here and discussed with many people in the public about quitclaim deeds, and that this is a problem using the usage of quitclaim deeds here in Montgomery County, but actually all over the country. Quitclaim deeds have a certain purpose, but it's not a good way of conveying a property that you're going to buy, and you want some type of warranty attached to that deed. It's many times used to transfer from a parent to a child. In a divorce situation, sometimes it's used, but that's it. It should not be used when you're purchasing a property. If you're purchasing a property, again, do not do it with a quitclaim deed. If somebody says we want to sell you a property with a quitclaim deed, that automatically raises a red flag. And that red flag says, stop, don't do it. So, be sure also that you have a title search performed and conducted on the property that you're going to do before closing. In these cases, all three of these cases, deeds were notarized by an authorized notary. But that notary was the defendant, Rosalind Johnson, a fraud and a thief. So the person in this case stealing the property, these individuals stealing the properties, owned the LLC, and also the persons signing the fraudulent deed and notarizing the fraudulent deed. What a criminal scheme. Now, there is light at the end of the tunnel here, because we have a very interesting and a very committed Montgomery County Montgomery County recorder. Sorry about that. We have a great Montgomery County recorder, Stacy Benson Taylor, who's been very diligent in looking into these matters and looking for fraudulent deeds. Having said that, not every forged document or deed can be discovered at the time it's filed. However, again, there is light at the end of the tunnel, because thanks to the initiative of Stacy Benson Taylor, our Montgomery County recorder, she has started this initiative that every landowner in Montgomery County should sign up for. This is a way to protect yourself, protect your finances, protect your property from being fraudulently conveyed against you. So at this time, I would like our Montgomery County recorder, Stacy Benson Taylor, to come forth and talk about her program and how, again, I would urge all of you to sign up for it. Stacy?
Thank you, Matt. Thank you. In December of 2023, we rolled out our Exposing Deed Fraud campaign with a few specific objectives that were geared toward addressing cases like these, where deeds had been fraudulently prepared and property had been stolen. We wanted to increase awareness of deed fraud and make sure that everyone knew that this was a real thing, and increase awareness of our fraud alert notification system. We've been successful. Since December, we have enrolled, our enrollment went from 13,000 properties to 27,000 properties. We wanted to increase community engagement, meeting people in the community to talk about deed fraud and how to protect themselves through the fraud alert notification system. We implemented new policies and procedures, such as verifying those notaries like Rosalind Johnson, who was fraudulently notarizing a deed to herself, and requesting ID from any person that walks in with a quitclaim deed like Diamond Washington. We worked with the Montgomery County Prosecutor's Office and Matt and his team to pursue the prosecution of these individuals who are engaging in this property fraud that is detrimental not just to the homeowners, but to everyone in our community. And I am proud to report that today's legal action came about because the first person was enrolled in the fraud alert notification system. And after his property was stolen, the thieves went to a title company to execute the transaction, but the letter notifying him, the title company, and anyone involved actually got to the title company before the new deed got to the title company. And so we were all notified because this person was enrolled in our fraud alert notification system. And so it's so important. There are 250,000 parcels in Montgomery County. So we have some work to do to make sure that each and every one of you are enrolled in this system so that we can work to protect your property. We encourage everybody to stop by the recorder's office, go to mcrecorder.org to enroll your property in this system. I want to thank my staff, because when I said I wanted to expose deed fraud, I told them this is going to be a little different. We're going to do things differently. We're going to look for different things, but we're going to help stop this problem in Montgomery County. I want to thank our partners. We've established relationships with our title companies. We've established relationships with local real estate agents and the auditor's office, as well as the prosecutor's office. And we believe that we are, and are confident that we are on the right track to putting an end to predatory crimes like deed fraud. Thank you.
So we're real excited about this. I think we're very fortunate to have Montgomery County Recorder that's so committed to doing the right thing, to starting this project, and it'll make a difference for all of you. So remember, get on our website, stop in and see her, whatever, but get registered. I also want to thank, this case was investigated and handled by one of my investigators, Tyson Dillon, who's here with me today. And he's investigated this, and I want to thank him for his commitment to bring these people to justice, because it's not always easy, but he made sure. In fact, a warrant has been issued for their arrest, and they were arrested by Tyson and my other consumer fraud investigators yesterday afternoon. Okay? Any questions?
So people who had their properties stolen, or did they get their properties back?
Well, two of the people, we were able to stop it before it happened. The original one, it has been transferred, and it's in the process now of seeing what can be done. Because the person whose the property name went into actually did purchase it, okay? But I think there's going to be a sufficient way where we can get the property back to the owner.
What about people that this has happened to before this program was unveiled?
Again, if something like this has happened, you feel there's been a fraudulent transfer, then you need to contact my Consumer Fraud Division. Absolutely. And we'll look into that, because they are looking into a number of them. And again, you know, any time that our Montgomery County Recorder hears of something like that, and she and her staff, by the way, are looking at these, and again, it's incredible of the safeguards that she's put in just in her office to try to even check, to identify if it may be on its face look like a fraudulent transfer. As she's already mentioned, requiring ID, taking pictures, things like that, that has never been done and is not done in many counties throughout the country. It's done here.
Do you know how many properties that this, what was it called, club has, what was the name of it? It was just 3.
Well, so far, the ones that we've noted that they tried to fraudulently transfer have been 3.
With these transactions happening under an LLC, in regards to the investigation, what difficulties does that present when trying to get to the individual?
Well, we need to look behind that LLC, and we have. And these 2 individuals are the ones who are the managing partners of the LLC. Kind of
How many
interesting.
people have signed up for this so far in Montgomery County?
We are now at 27,000. We have, actually, over 27,000 people are now enrolled, or properties are now enrolled in this program.
Can you speak to how many other cases of suspected quitclaim deed fraud either of your offices are looking into at the moment?
Either way. So last year we had about 91 referrals to me. That doesn't all mean that they get to the prosecutor's office, because some of them involve families where there was someone that passed away and they needed to transfer the property. And so we work with them that's not technically fraud, it is technically fraud, but it was a situation of where they didn't go to probate court. We work with them to get that cleaned up. Some of them are family situations where they have to go to mediation or something like that. And so of those, we don't refer them all to the prosecutor's office for prosecution. Only ones where the family reports that they do not know anybody involved in the transaction. They've never been before that notary or things like that. So probably in the last year, we've probably about 15.
I think so. I have pictures if you'd like.
How did they go about contacting people to see if they wanted to do a quick claim deed in the first place?
How do they go about?
How
They
did they, how did,
advertise them for sale.
so people came to them, they didn't go to people and solicit?
No, they came to, go ahead.
So normally they'll find like an abandoned property, kind of stake it out, watch it for a little while, and then they will just take the address and forge a quitclaim deed, transfer the property into their name.
So a lot of times they're not even contacting the owners
No.
at all, it just happens without them knowing.
No,
Correct.
most of these, they don't contact the owner. They identify the property. These, I believe, were identified probably out of probate court because they were newly filed probate cases, at least on one of them. And they take them out of probate court, or they watch them, as Tyson said, and then they look for people who have paid their property taxes in January and won't know that they won't get a bill. People who've paid their houses off. There are a lot of people who are in their homes that are susceptible, as well as people who are in vacant property or have vacant properties that are susceptible. And so people post their home for sale, but they're still in their home. They're susceptible, and so it's just it's a crime of opportunity, really. I mean, they just kind of watching to see.
So there's really no sign to owners that, hey, this might have happened to you without being enrolled in this program?
That's the best way to know. The sooner we know something, the sooner that we can do something.
Can you put that pictures back up for me?
Pardon me?
The pictures, can you put those back up? And they're Dayton residents, these two?
Yes.
Thank you.
Anything else? Thank you very much. We appreciate it.